In today's quick episode, we're going to talk about something that I took from the last race weekend just yesterday, but it's something you've heard me say before. It's executing on the things that most drivers are not doing. And if you start to do that, you'll start to stand out and you'll be the kind of driver that people want to sign.
Ain't afraid to bare my soul, ain't afraid to walk on coals. I ain't gonna tell no lies, I ain't gonna apologize. Can't stop me now.
Welcome to the Race Driver Coach Show. This is Enzo, and it's a bit of just a random video I'm going to put out this time in this episode. I've just literally arrived through the door. It's Monday morning from a flight from Germany because we've just been to Oschersleben for the last German F4 race. I was with Ollie Bierman. First time I've properly worked with him because obviously I was supposed to work with him earlier in the year, but I did my leg in. So first weekend back since Mugello. It's great to be back at the circuit, but I wanted to just share something I took from the weekend that I know can help everybody out there. And there was something that Ollie was determined to improve, and that was first lap assertiveness, the aggressiveness that you need straight out of the box. And he knew it was an opportunity. If he could make himself the best on the grid in that way, that he could take advantage, because this circuit we went to, there's no overtaking. Because there's no real braking areas. I say there's no overtaking. It's just difficult to overtake, and nobody did. Hardly, unless there was a mistake in front of them. So when you go into a track that hasn't got much overtaking, number one, you need a bloody good qualifying session. You need to make sure you're as high as possible. And number two, you need to make sure that you make the most of the very first lap. If you can do them two things, you stand a good chance of getting a good result. If not, if you do not qualify very well and you're at the back and then you're too lazy on or apprehensive and defensive on the first lap, what's going to happen? You're going to be stuck in that crummy position all the race, and that doesn't inspire anybody. Now, something that I look for when I was the Formula One Junior talent scout, and what all the other talent scouts are looking for right now, is somebody who stands out. Somebody who has the racecraft, the car control that allows them or enables them to go up further than what they've qualified. So you qualify at a certain level, a certain position. Great, that's where you're at the minute. That's where your car's at, and you show yourself. This is our speed. But then if you can advance, and if you can pounce, and you can look like you're hungry from the outside, they can see the car body language. That is the kind of person that any manufacturer, any F1 driver, any driver team, any serious team, professional team wants. They want that driver. They want the driver that does stand out. And you've heard me say this before when I say, do not be invisible. This is one of them moments. This is one of them things. If you're not advancing and you're not making positions at the start, just like Max Verstappen, just like Lewis Hamilton, just like Alonso, that's their skill, that's how they stand out, then you will disappear into the background. You will be invisible. And if you want a career in motorsport, if you want a career in anything, the one thing you can't do is be invisible. And it's a game changer. So if you do have that mindset that you are going to go forward on the first lap, then people will be looking for you. And guess what else it does? Everybody who is directly in front of you will be looking in their mirror, waiting for you to do something. And when you're in their head and they're looking in their mirror, they're not looking ahead, and you can take advantage of that. There's so many advantages and benefits of you being on the attack, seriously on the offense at the beginning of the race. It gives you confidence. It enables you to just fill those gaps as soon as they arrive, before the car in front's even thought of it. And it is a skill. It needs to be practiced. But it's also a kind of mindset you have. If you've spent a year or two, a season or two, racing a slower car that's not really competitive, it's these kind of moments that you know are your only chance. It's the rain and the start of every race. If you can maximize your performance or those times and get the best out of yourself at those times when everyone else is asleep, and practice those skills that most drivers don't really sharpen, you can find yourself outperforming the car that you're in. And I think when you go to top teams only, these are the kind of skills you don't polish. So it's great being the underdog. It's great being the person sometimes that doesn't have the equipment underneath them, because it shows you and teaches you the kind of skills that you need in order to still grab a result. When you hear people say the driver in that car is driving quicker than the car should be, the results are way higher than all their teammates, that's because they're maximizing these moments. I want you to do the same. Like in COVID time at the moment that we're in, this is time for you to really knuckle down and improve the skills that you need in order to win in life when things get back to normal, or actually just to win now while everyone else's defense is you're on attack. So it's the same for you as a race driver. So if you do find yourself in uncompetitive equipment, don't bitch about it. Improve the equipment. And if you can't do that, make sure that you're always delivering in them areas that most people are not. In the wet, at the start, and on the first lap. These are your moments. You pounce. And I tell you what, once then, you're in a top car, you'll be untouchable. You always have to act and perform and train as if you are the underdog. And this is something we took away from this weekend. He saw that there's an opportunity to pounce at the first lap, and he did. And he even tried to overtake somebody around a triple fast left-hander, which no one ever does. He still went for it, ended up in the gravel, losing 2 positions, but still, he was going for it. That's what we're looking for. In a race when everyone else is following, if you're the driver that's looking around, trying things, people will notice you. Don't be invisible. There's plenty of lessons you can take from this one video, because I'm quite random, just arrived, as I say. I'm just blouting it out. But stand out. Make sure you see where drivers are not executing. Train yourself to make sure you're executing in them areas, and do it and do it and do it. And if you do it over and over again, it'll only be a matter of time before somebody notices you. And that's what you're after. You're after that call to say, I can see something in that driver. I know you, if you're watching this, you're hungry for success. You're hungry to get better. Well, that's just an insight of how to do that. Be good where everybody else is failing, and you will stand out. See you next time.
Can't stop me.